What's up, everyone? So today we are here to talk about the pros and cons of living in Cape Coral, Florida. So as always, we're going to go through this. I'm going to give you a brief details on the city itself because many people watching this are doing research on moving, relocating to the area. So a lot of people may not know anything about it. They're just searching for information on different places to live in Florida or Southwest Florida. So we're going to talk about the details about the city of Cape Coral. Then in the second half of the video, we're going to get into the actual pros and cons of living in Cape Coral. So first of all, Cape Coral is a city located in Lee County, Florida, which is right on the Gulf of Mexico. It is basically a large peninsula that sticks out and is bordered on the south and east by the Caloosahatchee River and in the west by Matlacha Pass. And then kind of northeast is North Fort Myers, and then Punta Gorda directly north. Cape Coral's population, roughly 195,000, making it about the 130th most populous city in the United States. Cape Coral was founded in 1957, developed as a master planned community and nicknamed Waterfront Wonderland. It was also kind of a scam originally when it started. So there were no roads, there was no way to get to it, so they sold lots originally with this dream of being a waterfront community, but then people didn't have any way to get to them to build a house. So they did have a ferry that went across the river from Fort Myers and eventually started building bridges and roads as more and more people came and wanted to build houses, and it finally became a reality. It's the largest city and the primary city in terms of population in the Cape Coral Fort Myers metro statistical area in terms of the census. It is also the largest city between Tampa and Miami, both in population and in area. And it is also known as the Venice of the West, in that we actually in Cape Coral have more canals than they have in Venice, Italy. Over 400 miles of canals, virtually all of them being navigable, and many of them are Gulf access, so they are connected to the Gulf of Mexico and to salt water, so you can get out to open water from your backyard. It was also ranked number 7 in terms of best cities to retire in America. And really, it's not just a retirement community anymore. It has, the city's done a ton to really attract families as well. So we'll get into some of that as we go further along here. So some of the cool things to do, places to visit in Cape Coral. We've got 4 Mile Cove Ecological Preserve, which is right on the Caloosahatchee River. It is a wetland preserve, second largest preserved green space in Cape Coral, and has about a 1.25 mile walking trail, a visitor center, and they offer seasonal kayak rentals as well. Sunsplash is a cool water park. It is the largest water park in Southwest Florida. They've got all kinds of water slides, lazy river, pools that everyone will enjoy. So that's always fun. Gator Mike's Family Fun Park is also, it's another cool amusement park spot. Tons of fun, mostly outdoors. They've got zip lines. They've added a ton of stuff in the last couple of years. So now they've got zip lining, rock climbing, go-karts, mini golf, cutting edge arcade. They've got a restaurant and bar on site. So, I mean, I know we've gone there, taken the kids there a ton. They've got batting cages. So we take the kids over there and for batting practice sometimes with the baseball team. And we go there for fun, for mini golf, racing, go-karts, all that good stuff. The next one is the Yacht Club Community Park. There's a public outdoor space, beach, fishing pier, community pool, plus a playground and pavilion, and fantastic restaurant in the boathouse right there overlooking the water. This is the Cape Coral Beach, is at the Yacht Club Community Park. The community pool and the big building was damaged in the hurricane, so those are not open, and they're in the process of redeveloping and upgrading the yacht club itself. But the boathouse restaurant is open. The beach is open, so awesome spot to go hang out. And this is the beach in Cape Coral. So a lot of people don't even know that there's a beach in Cape Coral, but this is it. So great place to go check out if you live in Cape Coral, or if you're looking at moving to Cape Coral and you're worried about how long it takes to get to Fort Myers Beach. You can skip Fort Myers Beach and just go to the Yacht Club Beach. Another cool thing to do, the Cape Coral Farmers Market. It is seasonal, so it's only open from October through April, which is the busy season in Southwest Florida. But awesome place to go and pick up your fresh local produce and ingredients. Open October through April, every Sunday between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Cape Harbor, great place to go hang out. Really quintessential Gulf Coast Florida experience. Gorgeous waterfront views, boat slips, and beautiful homes. Unique shops and restaurants, and other pleasant ways to pass the day. Another cool thing to go check out, and I mean, it's probably not something you're going to go hang out at a lot, but we've done an event here before. Cape Coral has its own local distillery, Wicked Dolphin Rum Distillery. You can take a tour. They've been open since 2012. They've got all kinds of award-winning small batch rums and vodkas are really what they specialize in. Made from Florida sugarcane, natural ingredients, excellent stuff. Go check it out. Another great park, really kind of in the center of Cape Coral, is Cultural Park. It's a 16-acre neighborhood park. Contains a large open multi-purpose field, multi-use trails, and playground equipment, picnic shelters, beautiful rose garden, and public restrooms. But what really makes Cultural Park cool, I mean, otherwise that sounds pretty much just like a typical park. But they have the Cape Coral History Museum in the park there, as well as Cultural Park Theater and the home of the Cape Coral Art League are all here on the grounds of Cultural Park. And so each of those specialty centers contributes aspects of culture that truly make this park unique to Cape Coral. So the Historical Museum is dedicated to recording, preserving, and displaying the history of the city of Cape Coral. So cool little museum to go check out. The Cultural Park Theater is awesome. Cape Coral's little community theater. Super nice, small theater venue. Great place, offers a creative outlet for residents interested in participating in various areas of stagecraft. So acting, directing, and backstage tasks. So if you just want to go get involved, you can go do that there. And they put on shows all year round. So cool to go, fun to go watch different shows, local productions. And then, like I said, the Cape Coral Art League, it's a nonprofit organization that promotes the advancement of art throughout Southwest Florida. And they offer year-round classes for adults and youth. And so a lot of the people that participate in the Art League then go over and perform at the Cultural Park Theater. So that's it for info about Cape Coral. Next, we are going to jump into the pros and cons of living in Cape Coral. All right, so on to the pros of living in Cape Coral. Number one pro is low crime rate. Cape Coral is often considered one of the safest cities in all of Florida, and they've done a great job, especially over recent years, of helping to reduce that crime rate even further. I have many times heard the joke that the Cape Coral police have nothing better to do than traffic stops. Because there is such low crime in Cape Coral. So that's a good sign, I guess. Although board police, and watch out if you're speeding. Don't do it in Cape Coral because they will get you. It is a boating paradise. If you are a boater, that is, in my opinion, the number one reason to live in Cape Coral is being a boater. As we talked about earlier, over 400 miles of navigable waterways. You've got fishing, boating, all the water activities are a perk of living in Cape Coral. So big plus, there are freshwater canals, freshwater lakes as well. So if you are not a big Gulf access person, but just want to go run around, play, boat, jet ski, whatever, you can do that on the lakes and canals as well. So waterfront living is the next thing. And of course, same thing like we talked about, 400 miles of man-made canals. running through every part of the city pretty much. And so you can keep your boat right outside your back door, walk outside, hop in your boat, and take off. A lot of the houses have lifts and things like that to keep the boats out of the water. So just water, water, and more water. It is conveniently located to some of the major attractions without being in the congestion that comes along with those big theme parks like Disney, Universal Studios, and Busch Gardens, as well as you've got the Everglades not too far away, Florida Keys not too far away, especially if you are a water lover and want to do the Key West Express and take a boat trip down there. It's a quick hop over to Fort Myers Beach, hop on the Key West Express and shoot down, or you can drive. It's not a bad drive. Done it a few times. So Disney and Universal are about 3 hours away. Busch Gardens like an hour 45 to 2 hours, roughly 2 hours to the East Coast as well, like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, in that area. So of course the outdoor activities, we've talked about boating multiple times, biking, golfing, snorkeling, paddleboarding, bird watching, all of those things you can do in Cape Coral. A great place for all of it. Home options for most every budget, wide range of housing options. You've got single family homes, condos, villas, multifamily homes, and apartments as well. So large supply of homes, and now the market has finally, for the first time in quite a few years, shifted to a buyer's market. So there's a little bit more negotiation options available now. Don't expect that you're going to come in and offer 50% less than what it's listed for, but we can negotiate a little bit these days. So that's nice. And tons of great neighborhoods, wide arrangement of or assortment of different neighborhoods and lifestyles within Cape Coral. Budget-friendly areas to luxury waterfront communities, whether you're an active retiree, a family with young kids, or a young professional seeking a laid-back lifestyle, there is a perfect neighborhood waiting for you. And we have done some other videos, so check those out on best neighborhoods to live in. Depending on which channel this goes on, whether it's our Niesman Team channel or our Living in Southwest Florida channel, the neighborhood best neighborhoods are in the Living in Southwest Florida channel. Cape has also historically been a great location for investment opportunities. So if you're into real estate investing, Cape Coral is a good spot for that. And part of what makes it a great spot for investing is that there are very few homeowners associations. So rental restrictions are not as crazy as many of the homeowners associations have because you don't have the homeowners associations. So fewer rules and restrictions on stuff like that, although it is a city and they do have ordinances in terms of property maintenance and commercial vehicle parking and things like that, as well as where you can and can't park boats and RVs and that sort of thing. Although you can keep those things on your property, which is really nice. They just have to be in the backyard. So a little bit more flexible in that sort of thing. Pretty moderate cost of living. It is definitely more expensive over the last 3 to 4 years, roughly, than it has historically been. Things have gone up quite a bit in the last few years, but it is still a very moderate cost of living compared to many of the other coastal cities, especially in Florida. It is very family friendly, one of the best places to raise a family in Florida due to the safe neighborhoods, tons of parks, which they're building more of, and all kinds of family friendly activities and events throughout the year. Another big pro is no state income tax, which, I mean, that's a benefit to all of Florida, but just a reminder that if you're looking at Cape Coral, no state income tax there as well. Great schools. Cape Coral has 13 public schools and 10 private/charter schools, and very well known. Some of the best schools in Lee County are in Cape Coral, and Lee County is rated as one of the top school districts in all of the state of Florida. And lots of great dining and shopping options as well. There are a few different shopping centers throughout the Cape, and the farmers market that I mentioned as well. Some cool spots like Cape Harbor and the shops at Surfside. and just some good spots all around, good restaurants, lots of cool waterfront spots, things like that. So lots of pros. Now we're going to talk about the cons. So probably the number one con that most people ask about, are afraid of, have issues with, is the risk of hurricane and flooding along with that as well. Living in Cape Coral is a lot like most of the rest of Florida. There's constant concern of hurricanes and floods. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. When you live by the water, you got to deal with potential water issues. Hurricanes are definitely a thing. They don't tend to happen too often. Once every maybe 5 to 10 years or so do we get a significant hurricane, historically, from what I've experienced and looking at history, although that tends to be increasing, as well as the strength of the storms. Flooding doesn't happen very often. If it does, it's usually from storm surge from a major hurricane. Although there are a few neighborhoods that have a little bit of drainage issues within the Cape that the city is working to address and take care of. I would say, second big con to Southwest Florida is also weather related, in that the summers especially are super hot and humid. It is a tropical climate, so that's a big draw to many people, but a lot of people leave during the summer. So even full-time residents are kind of like reverse snowbirds, where their primary residence is in Cape Coral, and they still take off and head back up north. I think they're still snowbirds as far as I'm concerned. Even if your primary residence is in Cape Coral and you go back up north, I think you're still a snowbird. Some people call them reverse snowbirds, but it's the same thing. But a lot of people like to get out of town for the hot, humid summer months. Third con is traffic. Because there is virtually no public transportation in Cape Coral, you have to use cars to get around pretty much everywhere. There's very little walkability. There's not really a whole lot of infrastructure to support cycling. Really no bike lanes to speak of. There's no sidewalks on any of the neighborhood streets, only on the major roads. So I would say it's not the safest place to walk or cycle. You're much better off in your car. But with that comes traffic. And because of the grid system and the canals are great if you're a boater. They're bad if you're a driver, because you can't get through on every street. There's only certain roads that go through, and you get stopped by a canal and you either got to turn around and go back, or you're stuck in traffic on the main roads. So another con, virtually no public transportation, like I said. So it's both traffic and no public transport are, I would say, pretty significant cons for Cape Coral. And not massive amounts of commercial space, although in the recent years, the city council has done a lot to address that and rezone properties, adding in much more commercial space to have more centrally located commercial areas. So that is a change that's happening. It has been a con for throughout the history of Cape Coral, is not a whole lot of commercial area. But like I said, that is changing, and they're doing a lot to correct that. And recently, the higher costs of housing, especially, and primarily waterfront homes, are very, very expensive. Although, like I said, with the market shifting to a buyer's market, they have come down a fair amount, but it is drastically more expensive than it was 5 to 10 years ago, for sure. Let's see. And so 2 more cons: code enforcement. So as we talked about, there is no homeowners association, but there is code enforcement. Some people do not like code enforcement. They feel like they're being pestered. Honestly, if you're not a fan of code enforcement, take it up. If code enforcement's bothering you, take it up with your neighbors, because somebody complained. Code enforcement does not drive around looking for problems. They come out when a neighbor has complained. That is it. So if you have a problem with code enforcement, you actually have a problem with a neighbor. Go talk to your neighbors. Be friendly with them. Don't go be mean. Don't go telling them to mind their own business. Just go talk to them. See what's going on. See how you can help. Make friends with them. Invite them over. If you make friends with them, they're going to be a lot less likely to complain about you. And also, another complaint that I hear about Cape Coral a fair amount is there's not a whole lot of nightlife. Southeast 47th Terrace area is pretty much the main center of Cape Coral nightlife. There are some bars and clubs there. But yeah, I mean, it's never really been a huge nightlife scene. It is growing as the population is growing and getting younger. So if that's something you're looking for, Cape Coral might not be the spot, or you might want to be in a place in Cape Coral where you can hop over the bridge to Fort Myers quickly and easily and go to some of the clubs in the Fort Myers River District. So that is it for the pros and cons of living in Cape Coral. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please make sure you check out our other videos. If you are considering Cape Coral, you are probably considering other cities in Southwest Florida nearby. We have videos on most of them, and if we don't have a video on them yet, we will have one coming soon. So make sure you like and subscribe. Check out our other videos. If you're curious about some of the other surrounding areas, drop in the comments any questions, concerns, anything you missed, anything you think I'm wrong about. Always love to get other people's input and opinion. And hit the bell for notifications when we drop our future videos.